What is good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with a updated Infernoble Knight deck profile. So this list has changed a little bit from the last profile that I've done. If you guys were in on the episode 1 of the local crusade, I kind of went through, I didn't really go much into detail on like the list change. I just kind of breezed through it just to showcase you guys. And this is still the same list that I'm showcasing now. So this is going to be a more in detail explanation to my ratios and all that type of stuff, why I chose to move to this variant, why I prefer this variant over other variants and stuff like that. Now, if you guys are wondering about this beautiful mat that's right down here, it's called a Stigmatica Conflict, and it's on the Team COG store down in the description below. Go ahead and check out those links. If you guys want to also help support the channel that way or another way besides buying a playmat, go ahead and get yourself and join the membership. The membership is awesome. It helps put back into the channel. It also gives members perks and rewards like member monthly profiles. Also, I guess to kind of showcase real quick, on the other side of the mat we have Golgonda and stuff like that. So by all means, guys, go check it out down in the description down below. Get yours today. Use code COG5 to get 5% off. And yeah, with all that type of stuff out of the way, let's just go ahead and kind of jump into the deck profile. So to start out with, we are still playing triple Renaud. Renaud is like by far the best like Infernoble we have. If you're new to Infernobles, this card is phenomenal. I really don't recommend playing any less than 3 of it. You could potentially play 2, but I don't recommend it. But definitely play the 3. Moving on, we are rocking Triple Oliver. This card is what you now summon off of Isolde, and also what you can, it's like a very superior extender in a way that will allow you to power through your Isolde getting hand trapped. And most of the times, if you don't open Connector, you can still look at the hand via Isolde summoning the Dolphin, and then you get to see the hand. As long as you have Oliver in your hand, you can like combo through and still be able to like combo safely, which is really cool. For the final, we have one Ogier. Ogier is by far one of my favorites as well. It just stinks that his effect is like so subpar, but he is one of the only normal summons that we want to normal summon in the deck outside of Connector and Dolphin. So this guy right here, he's most famously known for the 2-card anti-Nibiru hand trap combo, but most notably if you open 2 Warrior Extenders plus Renaud, you use him in the combo to injure board on Charles, Herald, and a Gearfried that way as well, which I'll showcase that combo at the end of the video here. But that is it for the Infernoble Knights. We're only rocking 7 Infernobles. Kind of stinks, I'm not going to lie. I wish there was just a little bit more better ones, but these are the best ones that we have access to. Alstofo is a good option, but not the best. Moving on to kind of the Fire Warrior Extenders, we are rocking triple Red Layer and double Fire Flint Lady. So these guys are really good at starting and extending. I count Quantal as a starter more so than an extender. He is only an extender in certain aspects that you special him first, then normal like Connector in a way. But most part, he is getting your combo started by special summoning himself. You're already like 1/2 the way to an Isolde, and Isolde is full combo. And then Connector. Bleh. Fire Flint Lady here is definitely better and worse. That she is definitely an extender. I mostly cut her down to 1 when I'm siding. I have not found the need to play 3 of them because I don't need 3 of them things. Just 2 of them is pretty good right now. And yeah, not much more can be said. The effect of special summon can come up, but other than that, not too much. Something I will talk about real quick about Red Layer is sometimes you'll find yourself like in a simplified game state and you'll special Red Layer. You then can normal the Oliver and hard make Charles, which will force a interruption because then you can use Oliver to equip to Charles. Charles will pop something. So that is just something that's very like utility-wise that most people don't know about with the Red Layer. Moving on, one Gimba. This card's in here I prefer this over PKs, over Arborea, over the Phantom Knight, not the Phantom Knight, over the Armageddon Knight, simply because it's still a Fire Warrior. I went through the statistics of it multiple times. If you open Armageddon Knight, open Arborea, open Torn Scale, and like Renaud, you do not have combo. Whereas if you open Gimba, you do, and Gimba's level is like actually the perfect level to kind of make like some roll-in plays going. So that's why I choose to keep Gimba. If you open like a weird handful of bricks or a weird handful of equip spells and stuff, sometimes you'll find yourself sending the 2 to summon Gimba instead of the Oliver, which does happen. But other than that, it's pretty good. I have yet to regret playing this card over Arborea. I've even tried to play Arborea, and every time I play Arborea, I always see Arborea in my hand, plus Renaud, and then I can't combo because of Arborea being a water. But she is Bae, though, and she is the queen. Do keep that in mind. Now, moving on. For the final Fire Warrior, the one Gearfried. I finally got my collector's rare. I actually got 2 of them now because a member sent me one, and then I ordered one, so we're definitely flexing our opponent. This card lets you steal 2 cards, and this card just definitely is what allows us to win the game. Like in a simplified game state, Gearfried. Gearfried just applies so much pressure on himself that entire games can be won on Gearfried. And that's just through the wall. Especially if you get Gearfried equipped with OG or an Oliver, there's not going to be a lot of things they can do to Gearfried here, especially with him being able to steal. And he doesn't have to steal the card that he attacks. So like I can declare on Verte, steal Dragoon, attack over the Verte. That's just a little example right there. Or attack into Fleur-de-Lis, steal the Mechaba, and do things like that. It's just, you know, interesting plays for sure. Moving on for the best normal summon in the deck, these 4 cards right here. Connector is by far the best normal summon. This card just allows us to see the hand and rip from the hand, and this is why I want it moved away from the Draco Sack variant, simply because I wanted to have the ability to loot my opponent's hand. If you see Dark Ruler no more, you see Forbidden Droplets, well, you know, there might be you can't really pick that out with Dolphin, so that's where you want to pivot your plays and start looping with Omega. And in the Draco Sack combo, you weren't able to do that. You could not pivot that way. You just had to eat that Dark Ruler or evenly eat that Droplets. But with this list, you pivot into Omega, and yes, you might not hit it, and then yes, you will. You have at least a chance, and that's what the entire concept of like this hand looping side of the Infernobles are, is you have a chance to rip those pesky blowout cards from your opponent's hand rather than just eat them and lose the game. Now, the only hand trap I am playing is 3 Gamma and the 1 Driver, because Gamma is the highest impact card because it negates and it destroys. That is 100% the only reason we're playing it. It's just, you want to, like, I guess hand traps aren't doing enough this format, and you wanted, like, high impact cards, and, like, I changed out Ash for Dark Ruler no more, because if I see Ash alone does not do anything. Gamma alone can do something. Gamma and Dark Ruler, Gamma alone can do something, but if it can't, then Dark Ruler follows it up. Whereas Gamma and Ash, certain decks can play through that pretty easy. So that's the thought process behind no longer playing Ash and only playing Gamma as the main hand trap. Now onto the pseudo bricks. We are rocking Coltwing and Despot001. If you guys happen to catch the live stream, I saw Coltwing twice against Sky Strikers and was still able to kind of combo and put out a board. I will, if you guys want to check out that live stream, it's always uploaded onto the channel so you guys can see it, but I will probably end up like doing a commentary over that match later on, just to kind of like highlight the plays with Mecha Phantom Beast and to like talk more about it, because those plays were like some top tier brain plays that I don't think I could do again. But anyway, the 2 pseudo bricks, not much more can be said. Moving on, the reason this deck is super consistent is triple Heritage of the Chalice. This card searches out any Infernoble or any Noble Arms, which allows you to like side deck if you want to, like Arfadir tier, you name it, Gallatin, whatever you want to. But it can also search out Durandal, it can search out Renaud, Oliver, Ogier, you name it. And something to kind of count that people seem to forget that I'm going to remind someone every time I do a profile is, remember, if any of your Infernobles or Noble Knights get destroyed, add this card back. By battle, but just add it back. Moving on, we are rocking the triple Dark Ruler no more instead of Ash Blossom. This right here was just kind of a thought, like a main deck way to kind of, it's a bigger blowout card, higher impact than Ash. And most of the cases, if they put up their board, this deck has a really good time of breaking boards too. So you can just like Dark Ruler and then just break their board and build your own, which is kind of the thought process with Dark Ruler. But other than that, I have not regretted it. Believe it or not, ever since I've put it in, I haven't seen it. So in theory it works, and especially where like Bird Up can play through multiple interruptions and stuff like that, and sometimes you're forced in a hand trap because you don't know what your opponent's hands are. That's the most optimal point to hand trap, but they have an extender that you didn't know they had. Dark Ruler just allows you to out that whole board easier than just ashing and Gamma and just losing to the opponent opening the nuts. Moving on, we are rocking the Durandal. We are firing up the Durandals. And then for the rest of the equips, we're playing 1 Living Fossil, 1 Metal Silver, 1 DDR, and 1 Phoenix Blade. So the reason we're rocking these 7 and not like the Power Tool Turbo variant is because this allows for you to play less bricks in the deck and combo more efficiently. And the combo lines just changed just a little bit. And a huge shout out to my member Emmanuel, or also known as the Dark Arrow. He helped me, or he showed me this, and he kind of drilled on me with it for at least 2 times after we talked. Like the first time we talked, he's like, hey, try this. And I was like, no. But I didn't say it like that. But then the next time he's like, hey, try this, because at the big box tournament, I ended up bricking on multiple equip spells of like Living Fossil. So I decided to cut it down, and here we are. The only equip spell that I think some people don't play is Metal Silver Armor, and that is perfectly fine. However, I believe Metal Silver Armor, like these 4 cards right here, are the perfect ratio to send for Oliver, and then you can just send us depending on what equip spells you open. The only 2 bad ones are essentially these 2 right here. However, again, same concept with Oliver. If you open Oliver, these 2 cards are not that bad. But Metal Silver Armor is definitely a slept-on card, and people say it's bad, but I highly advise you to definitely play against this card. And you know, like it's not bad. It puts your opponent in such a weird predicament that their cards that target cannot target, and it's just they can't even Monster Reborn under Metal Silver Armor. It's really good, and it kind of solidifies those weaker boards where if you look at your opponent's hand and you see they have Nibiru, so you have to make Herald early on, and you're only ending on like Charles and Herald and like Auroradon. Metal Silver Armor just allows you to hold the line and just, you know, put on enough pressure for the following turn. So that is it for the equips. Moving on to the final 3 cards: Monster Reborn, Harpy's Feather Duster, and Reinforcement of the Army. I feel bad. I mean, like in the live stream against the Sky Striker player, I top decked Harpies, and it did not. I know how it feels to be in that chair, the chair of he drew the one of that he statistically could not draw, and I drew it. So I understand it, but these 3 cards, I highly recommend main deck and Harpy's Feather Duster. I will preach this until I die. You must have a way to out Mystic Mine or set 5 and pass, especially in today's format. Like, if you go against Eldritch, you're just going to get blown out of the water, so might as well have a main deck way to out it and have the possibility to draw into it or open it rather than not have it at all. Reinforcing the Army is just another extender, grabs you an extra copy of Dolphin, and then Monster Reborn is just a very superior extender that allows us to play through hand traps as well. Now, with that being said, we're moving on to the extra deck. They've been slight changes to the extra deck, just little ones, especially with me being tinkering around with like the the Draco set combo and stuff. So we'll just jump into what is going on here. So, double Isolde, not much more can be said there. The Halka Fibrax, then we're rocking Unicorn, Auroradon, and Talker. So these are the only links you're playing. You could also probably get away with Nightmare Unicorn cutting it, but I don't recommend it because Isolde links up into this. So this allows for, if your Auroradon gets whacked over or something, you can just like combo off the next turn by making up into these 2, spinning a card, and then going into access code. But I highly recommend playing Unicorn just because, as I just said, Isolde is like a 1 card. If you can make Isolde, you can make Unicorn, which is pretty easy. There's at times I wish I played 2 Hulk, but then there's times I don't. In most cases, if they stop the Hulk, you're going to lose, so it doesn't matter if you play 2. But you normally will have that knowledge of your opponent's hand before you make Hulk, so you'll know if it's safe or not. Or most of the times, your opponent will fling hand traps at Isolde before you even make Hulk, and then you just free real estate. But that is it for the links. Moving on, we are playing Charles, the man, the myth, the reason why I love this deck, and Roland. I can't really say enough. If I'm not ending on Charles, I'm not happy. So Charles is just a completely good boss monster for the deck. He is just, hands down, 10 out of 10. If they didn't have Charles, I wouldn't play this card. I wouldn't play this deck if they didn't have Charles, per se. But not much more to even say about him, to be honest with you. Roland just equips to him, making him a Dryden. He can become untargetable. He can become indestructible, excuse me. And he is just really good. Now, this is where the change has kind of happened. We are playing 2 Heralds and 1 Balmug. So the double Herald is simply here for when you have to like combo weirdly, and like you see your opponent has Nibiru, so you make Herald early on, and then you negate the Nibiru, and then you have to make another Nibiru, so you just make another one, and still finish out your combo pretty strong, you know. And then Balmug is part of the combo extension. Destroy this card, bring back the Cult Wing, combo even farther. You don't even have to bring back Cult Wing. You can bring back like a Renaud. You can bring back whatever you really want. Just Cult Wing is normally the most optimal. Moving on to the level 7s, 1 Power Tool, and then 1 Shooting Riser Dragon. Both of them are pretty important to the combo. Riser just dumps to manipulate its level, which allows you to make Roland and stuff like that. And then Power Tool is only necessary in certain combo lines where you need to grab another Durandal to get the Renaud, or Durandal to grab an Oliver, to make a Synchro 8, which does come up in like the mainstream combo. So definitely important. 1 Borreload Savage and 1 Sideframe Lord Omega. So Omega, of course, is here because you want to be able to rip those pesky cards out of your opponent's hand, and or, you know, like wait and see. So like if your opponent does happen to have like Dark Ruler no more, stuff like that, you can banish this and hopefully get it from their hand if you missed it. on the, or if you, since you could not hit it with Dolphin. And so you hit it, you miss it, okay, your opponent has 2 cards in hand or 1 card in hand to break your board with a Dark Ruler no more. Good luck. If you do hit it, happy day, you did what, that's the entire point of the playthrough there. Perfect. Savage is just to end on. It's just a really high impact, like it's one of the best Synchro 8s out there currently. I remember at one point some people were talking about Savage getting hit on the list, and I was at the time, I was like, there's no way they'll hit Savage. It's so stupid to hit him. He's so generic and so easy to make. And then that's when I started, I was like, man, they possibly could hit Savage. But I'm glad he's still here. He's awesome. That is it for the main deck, guys. So I will quickly jump into that card, that 3-card combo, and showcase you how to use YuGiOh separately from the 2-card Nibiru combo that we're all so familiar with. Alright guys, so here we go. I have the deck sorted as best as my memory can suit me, and we're going to try and run through this combo, and all it takes is 2 Warriors, and Renaud, and or Connector, and Renaud too. What this is going to end you on is going to be Gearfried, Charles, and Herald, or I think it can pivot into Gearfried, Charles, and Savage, depending on how you want to extend farther, etc, etc. But for the most part, guys, we're going to go ahead and start out here by normal summoning the Connector. Connector is going to grab from the deck the Dolphin. We're going to go ahead and link here into Isolde, Isolde effect. We're not going to really do it for the sake of ability to add, so instead we're just going to go Isolde effect, pay cost. We're going to send 4 equip spells right there to go ahead and summon out Ogier. You're going to go ahead and use Ogier's effect to send Gearfried. You'll then special summon Renaud. Renaud will add back the Gearfried. You then will turn the Tuner and the Isolde into Hulk, because remember, Renaud is treated as a tuner. You'll go into Hulk. Move this down a little bit so you guys can see. Hulk's effect will bring out the Despot. You then turn Despot and here into the Big Silly Plane. Big Silly Plane will get us 3 tokens, and then Despot will come back. You then turn these 2 here. We'll put these here for the Field Center. Into Riser. You'll use Riser Dragon's effect. You will send, this is where I forgot, you'll send Red Layer. You then use the effect here to tribute the token and tribute the Ogier to summon out Coltwing. Coltwing will then get you 2 tokens here. And then here comes back Despot. Now, if you want to keep the combo simple and not extend super farther into this, which is kind of highly what I recommend, you just go ahead and turn these 2 here into Arclight. And then you can turn these into Charles, and then you can just summon the Gearfried from your hand. Now, if you want to extend a little farther, you turn this into Balmug, and then you make the Charles this way. So you turn these guys here into Roland. Roland effect during the end phase. You go here, and then you make Charles here. And then you can just summon out the Gearfried, and there you go. This right here is your ending board right there. Now, how if you were able to hold this back and you made yourself Balmug, you could use Roland's effect in the graveyard to equip here, destroy Balmug. Balmug will summon back the Coltwing. Coltwing will then get you guys 2 more tokens, which will be right here and here. You then turn these guys right here. Oh, yeah. You turn these guys right here into Power Tool. And then, as you guys can see, it's a little bit more messy of a board, simply because I think that this Coltwing will be hanging out here. But depends on really what you want to do. You can grab Durandal. You use Durandal to add yourself the Oliver. And then you can banish 2 for Phoenix Blade, which I'll go here and here for Phoenix Blade. And then you go Oliver, pitch here, and then these guys here become Savage. And then Savage will equip the Hulk, And then you just banish whatever you really want. Go ahead and banish DDR to summon out the Gearfried. Now, it really depends truly what you want. As you guys can see, that really didn't get us to any extra avail, except for we got Savage now, which is a little bit bigger. But we also got to remember that Herald is also a floodgate. So that's what's super important about the Herald, is that it is a floodgate. So I guess it just depends. Once you know that important information on what your opponent's playing, you know that you can end on, you know, if you're playing Tri-Brigade, Zodiac, or just Tri-Brigade in general, you know that probably ending on Savage is not the best, but definitely ending on Herald is pretty good because it stops the Fractal and stuff from activating. Now, yes, Coltwing is here and Rodon's here, and this Coltwing is just kind of hanging out over here, but if they do not solve the Coltwing, that just leaves these two to go immediately into a access code, which will practically guarantee game for sure. But it just totally depends on you. It totally depends on your playstyle, but that is the versatility of that 2 to 3 card combo using YuGiOh, which is not the same old 2-card anti-Nibiru hand trap that YuGiOh is known for. But please remember, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Please hit that join button to become a member. Also, guys, please remember to stay happy, stay safe, happy crusading.